The rain had just started when Daniel Carter stepped off the bus in a quiet neighborhood outside Chicago. Maple Street looked exactly the same as it had 10 years ago. Same cracked sidewalks, same flickering street lamp at the corner, same white house with the blue shutters at the end of the road. His childhood home. Daniel adjusted his coat, gripping the old envelope in his hand. It was worn, the edges softened with time. The handwriting on the front was unmistakable. His mother's. But that was impossible. She had died 11 years ago. He stood there for a long moment, staring at the house. No lights, no movement, just silence, broken only by the rain tapping against the pavement. "Why now?" he whispered. The letter had arrived 2 days ago with no return address. Inside was just a single sentence. "Come home. There's something you need to know." No explanation, no signature, but he knew that handwriting better than his own. Taking a deep breath, Daniel walked up the familiar path. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if the past itself was pulling him back. The front door was locked, just like he expected. He reached under the porch railing and found the spare key still taped there. Some things never changed. The house smelled like dust and memories. Daniel stepped inside slowly, flipping the light switch. It flickered once, then steadied, casting a soft yellow glow over the living room. Everything was still there. The old couch with the faded cushions, the bookshelf filled with worn novels, the family photos lining the wall, his mother smiling, his younger self beside her, both of them frozen in a moment that felt like a lifetime ago. He swallowed hard. "I shouldn't have come back," he muttered. But something in that letter, it didn't feel like a mistake. It felt like a call. He moved deeper into the house, each step stirring up memories he had buried long ago. The kitchen was untouched. The clock on the wall had stopped at 3:17, the exact time his mother had died. He remembered that day clearly. The phone call, the silence, the way his world had shattered in an instant. Daniel clenched his fists. "This is stupid," he said to himself. "It's just a prank, someone messing with me." But deep down, he didn't believe that, because no one else knew about Maple Street. No one else knew about the key, and no one could copy her handwriting like that. The letter. He pulled it out again, staring at it as if it might suddenly reveal its secrets. Come home. He was here. Now what? His eyes drifted around the room, searching for anything out of place, for a clue. That's when he noticed it. The hallway door. It was slightly open. Daniel frowned. He was sure it had been closed when he entered. A cold chill ran down his spine. "Hello?" he called out. No answer. Just silence. Slowly, he walked toward the hallway. The air felt colder here, heavier, as if the house itself was holding its breath. The door creaked as he pushed it open. The hallway was dark. At the end of it was his mother's room. He hadn't been in there since the day she died. "I'm losing it," he whispered, but his feet kept moving. One step, then another. The floorboards groaned beneath him. When he reached the door, his hand trembled as he reached for the handle. "Just open it," he said under his breath. So he did. The room was different. Not abandoned, not frozen in time like the rest of the house. It looked lived in. The bed was neatly made. The curtains were open. A faint scent of lavender lingered in the air. Daniel's heart started pounding. This isn't possible. Then he saw it. On the bedside table, another letter. He approached slowly, as if the paper might disappear if he moved too fast. The envelope had his name on it, again in her handwriting. He pulled it out, his hands shaking, and opened it. Inside was a longer note this time. He began to read. Daniel, if you're reading this, it means you came back. I knew you would. There are things I never told you, things I couldn't explain when you were younger. You always thought I died suddenly, that it was just bad luck. But the truth is, I knew it was coming, and I've been waiting for you ever since. Daniel's breath caught. What? He looked around the room again, his pulse racing. Waiting? The words echoed in his mind. Before he could process it, a sound came from behind him. A soft creak, like a floorboard shifting. He froze. Slowly, very slowly, he turned around. Standing in the doorway was a woman. Daniel's heart stopped. She looked exactly the same. Same gentle eyes, same soft smile, same face he hadn't seen in over a decade. "Mom," he cracked. She tilted her head slightly, studying him like she wasn't sure if he was real. "You took your time," she said softly. Tears filled Daniel's eyes. "This isn't real." But she stepped closer, each movement slow, careful. "I know it's hard to believe," she said. "It was for me, too, at first." He shook his head. "You died. I was there. I know," she interrupted gently. "And you did everything right. But not everything is as simple as it seems." Daniel felt like the world was spinning. "How are you here?" She smiled sadly. "I was given a chance, a second one, but there were conditions." "What kind of conditions?" "I couldn't reach out to you, not directly, not until you came back on your own." Daniel looked at the letters in his hand. "So this?" She nodded. "It was the only way." He stared at her, searching for any sign that this was a dream, a hallucination, anything. But she was there, real, alive. "Why?" he asked. "Why go through all this?" Her expression softened. "Because you left," she said quietly. The words hit him like a punch. "I didn't leave," he said defensively. "I had to move on. You ran," she said gently. "From the house, from the memories, from me." Daniel looked away, guilt creeping in. "I couldn't stay here," he whispered. "Everything reminded me of you." "I know," she said, "but some things are meant to be forgotten." Silence filled the room. The rain outside grew heavier, tapping against the windows like a heartbeat. Finally, Daniel spoke. "So what happens now?" She smiled, but there was sadness in it. "That depends on you." "On me?" She nodded. "I can't stay forever. This second chance, it's limited." His chest tightened. "How long?" She hesitated. "Until sunrise." Daniel felt the weight of those words settle in. Just a few hours. After 11 years. "That's not enough," he said. "I know," she replied softly, "but it's what we have." They spent the night talking about everything, the past, the regrets, the things left unsaid. Daniel told her about his life, the job he didn't love, the friends he kept at a distance, the emptiness he never quite understood. And she listened, like she always had. At one point he asked, "Were you really watching me all this time?" She smiled faintly. "In a way." "Then why didn't you stop me from making mistakes?" "Because they were yours to make. That's how you grow." As the hours passed, the sky outside slowly began to lighten. Dawn was coming. Daniel felt it before he saw it. The end. "I don't want you to go," he said, his voice breaking. She reached out, placing her hand over his. "I never really left," she said softly. "Not where it matters." The first ray of sunlight slipped through the window. Her hand began to fade. Daniel's eyes widened. No, wait. It's okay, she said gently. Mom, please. Live your life, Daniel, she whispered. Don't run from it. And then she was gone. The room was silent again, empty, like it had been for years. Daniel stood there frozen, staring at the spot where she had been. Tears streamed down his face, but for the first time in a long time, they didn't feel heavy. He looked down at the letter still in his hand. The ink had faded, the paper turning blank, as if it had never been written. Daniel took a deep breath, then another, and slowly he smiled. When he stepped outside, the rain had stopped. The sun was rising over Maple Street, and for the first time in years, Daniel Carter finally